Thank you for a good lecture and thank you for the good demonstration. Someday I will be like you. Someday. So, um, how do we tie all that we learned today? We heard something called Manomaya Kosha. Okay, so those who are not familiar with it, what is that? In simplistic terms, it is our mind. And our mind, we have aspects of our mind. We do not have parts of our mind, but we have aspects of our mind. And what do we mean by the aspects of the mind? There's a conscious mind that is constantly reasoning, that's constantly deciding, that is constantly asking questions and trying to find answers that fit with what they want to hear, with what it wants to know. So the answers we get is right for that moment in time. That's what the conscious mind is able to create for us. But we have more than that. We have more than a conscious mind. We have an aspect of who we are where we have our memories. And the memories are always charged either positive or negative. And when we say positive or negative, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that positive is good and negative is bad. But again, in simplistic terms, it's our pain and pleasure. Something that brings pleasure to us and something that brings pain. So what does a human always do? When there is pain, we want to run away from it. And when there is pleasure, we want to go towards it. So it's like two ends of a battery cell. We have the positive, we have the negative. And when we have the positive, we don't say, oh, good, positive. When we have the negative, we do not say, oh, bad, negative. We need both for the energy to flow from one to the other. Because as the energy flows, for example, if this is a battery, and then the energy flows, and within it flows, this is direct current. And when the energy equates at both ends, what happens? It becomes a dead battery. So it's no longer of any use to us. And similarly, when we have positive associations and negative associations, we have pleasure and we have pain. And that is what keeps us going. We constantly oscillate between these two polarities, between these two dichotomies and opposites. There's pleasure and there's pain. We are trying to avoid pain and seek pleasure, have more of one and less of the other. And in this process, as we oscillate between these two polarities, the positive and the negative, and it keeps the distance between the two keeps reducing till we attain a spot in our consciousness where it's neutral, it's neither positive nor negative. And the moment that state is attained, we have no charge behind that memory, it becomes neutral, we do not remember it anymore. And when someone reminds us of it, they tell you, do you remember that day and we had it? And you'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I remember, yeah. But after some time, we don't remember anymore because there is no charge behind the memory. And that's why we say, oh, it's convenient memory. But that is what happens. And where does that happen? That does not happen in our conscious mind. It is not the reasoning and the logical aspect of who we are. It is not our analytical faculties. It is not our decision-making abilities. It is our subconscious. So when we are born as a child, okay, a baby, a brand new baby that just popped out, all that baby wants to do is breathe and be alive, right? The baby wants to live. That's why it is here. So if you can look at it, this is what a baby is. Who's just born, brand new, and wants to survive, wants to live. For instincts of survival to continue, what does it have in its mind? It doesn't have memories yet. It does not have any logic and reasoning abilities. All it has and needs is a primitive mind. And a primitive mind has instincts of fight, flight, and freeze. These are all survival instincts that we all get into just to survive. We run away from what's chasing us. We run towards what keeps us safe. And when we don't know, then we are like a deer in the headlight, don't know where to go. And this is what the primitive man had. This is what the caveman had, if you believe in evolution. And we will stick with that for now, that man evolved from that single cell. The caveman walking down the street with Mrs. Caveman is walking down, happy, and meets the grizzly or the saber-toothed tiger or the woolly mammoth, whatever have you in those days, maybe T-Rex. And if the danger is far away, then Mr. Caveman grabs Mrs. Caveman and they run, flight. But if they are close by and they have stones and sticks, they start throwing and they start fighting, okay? But when they are close by and they have no weapons, nothing to fight the danger, what does Mr. and Mrs. Caveman do? They freeze. Because the predator wants the kill. They do not want dead meat. They come, they sniff, they see this is dead, and they move on. And even today, that's the survival instincts in the forest. When you go and there is a predator in front of you, you don't try to take a photograph. You lay down and you stop breathing. You pretend you are dead. And the bear will come, sniff you, and leave you alone and go. So we still live by those instincts that caveman lived. It's survival instincts. So what happens to the babies between the ages of 0 to 8? Baby starts forming associations. As the child is evolving, as the child is growing, the child has associations of pain and pleasure. Okay? The baby or the child, we shall not call him or her a baby anymore, the child starts moving. And the child falls, tumbles and falls. Okay? And at that time, what does the baby do? Okay, somebody runs and picks up the baby, or the baby tries to get up, and somebody says, no, it's okay. They hold them, maybe they give them a chocolate chip cookie, and they feel good about it. So falling isn't so bad because you get a chocolate chip cookie, and it becomes a positive association. And the baby learns to walk. How long does it take for the baby to learn to walk? Until the baby learns to walk. So a negative association turns into a positive association. Now what happens as this child grows up? And very soon, summer will fade into fall, and we will have the holiday seasons, right? And at that moment, when the holiday seasons come, what comes with holidays? Food, right? With every festivity, we have food. And we all make promises. Oh, this time I'm going to be so good. I'm going to be so good. I'm not going to touch anything. So you're good. For breakfast, everybody, the lady comes in with her cookies and her donuts and whoever, you know. And you say, no, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But then it's 2 o'clock. You have a sugar low. You're coming back from the bathroom. And there is a donut. And you're like, it's okay. I'll just take a quarter slice. And you put it in your mouth. And what happens at that moment? You regress to when you were held by your mother and offered a piece of sugar, candy. You are no longer the mature adult, 29 or 35 years old. You regress to being younger than 8. We all do. And that we reinforce that it is so good. And then guess what happens? Do you think the other 3/4 is still lying over there on the desk? No, it's gone. Because we are not operating from anywhere else but our subconscious. So subconscious has these memories, positive and negative. And they're disjointed, like we heard before. They are irrational, illogical. There's no train of thoughts. There's no logic. There's no reasoning. You cannot justify why you did that because we are a child younger than 8. Our associations dictate the way we behave, the way we respond and react. This is our comfort zone. This is our knowns, and this is what I lovingly call our life script. When we change our life script, we change our life. This is our subconscious mind, which is 88% of who we are. Between the age of 7 to 9, what is formed is called a critical mind. And a critical mind is what keeps us safe. It can also be called as our inner critique. It tells us things like, you're not good enough. Everything we heard, we learned through osmosis. It was our perception as a child that creates our reality as an adult. It's not the things we told, it's the things we heard. I'll repeat it again. It's not what we were told, it's what we heard that creates our reality. Okay? So, and that is all part of, our critical mind keeping us there. You're not fat enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not tall enough, you're not short enough, you're not whatever, you're not girl enough, you're not man enough. Everything that we heard, not told, is what decides how our reality will be for the entire life. And you may say, am I forever like doomed? Like, is this critique always going to keep me where I am? No. If you look, the critical mind has gaps. There's ways to access, to bypass the critical mind and access your subconscious. Like earlier we heard Dr. Savitri not mention the red Mustang theory, but she was talking about the red Mustang theory. When you decide to buy a red Mustang, guess what? You start noticing only red Mustangs around you. Okay? And because that is part of our programming that comes from our subconscious, it's not from our conscious. Our conscious mind has logic, it has reasoning, it has decision-making abilities, analytical faculties, and our willpower, which we don't seem to find when we need it the most. This is our conscious mind, and this is only 12% of who we are. So when you use hypnosis, what happens is you start working with your subconscious, reinforcing these associations if they still work, if they're still valid. Okay? Maybe you had an association of like, oh, it's not good to stay up too late at night. And you forget these days, you work till 1 p.m. and your doctor tells you or your hypnotherapist tells you, well, you need to go to bed by 10. And you're like, yeah, I used to do that. So let's reinforce that reassociation. It was a good thing. I fell off, but now let me reinforce it because it already exists within me. But we might have an association. As a child, we tell children, don't talk to strangers, stranger danger, right? So it's a negative association. So guess what happens as adults? We are not very comfortable talking to strangers. But you can tell, no, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. So change that negative association into a positive one. So you feel comfortable talking to a stranger when you're not introduced to. Maybe a negative association, So you can change the associations or reinforce them and come out, work with your subconscious. And what happens is, and this is only when you are going through this state of hypnosis, in your hypnoidal state. In your waking hours, you have homework to do. You have tools that you are empowered with, that you use. And when you use that, you use your conscious mind because you know what you want. You have all the resources consciously, but what's running your script is your subconscious. So when you bring the two together, the critical mind, it goes bye-bye. And that is how, using hypnosis, you always have 100% success. We learned so many things today about yoga. How many of us are really going to go home and do them every day? Because our subconscious will run the script. We love everything. We are like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. But tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, our priority list will show up, and we do not have time allotted for this. So if we really want to incorporate everything we learned today, we have to reprogram our subconscious so we can start incorporating the information we get. Because this is overloaded with information. But information without application is just arrogance. It's just, oh, I know that. Sure, what are you doing about what you know? And that's what happens. So you can reprogram your subconscious. Answer questions like what, why, how, when, where, with whom. And slowly, you can create the new reality the way you want it by reprogramming your subconscious. Now, does anyone have any questions on this so far? Okay, everyone is good. No. Either you got everything or you got nothing. So either way, I'm cool. Then, thank you. Okay. Now, how do you use this for pain? We also heard earlier, a few hours ago, about the thoughts getting attached to or attaching emotions, like we were talking in the earlier, if we have the charge behind the memory. Okay, so we have a thought, and the thought has an emotional, what would we call it, aspect to it. Okay, now there's two ways. If you are trying to help someone who has pain, okay, this is not for you, okay, but that someone could also be you. If you can put yourself into the observer status and put yourself in the other chair and be your own therapist, this is what you would do. Is when someone comes to you with pain and they say, I'm hurting, okay, help me. We have to know how the person processes information. Does the person take in information literally? Or does the person take in information inferentially? Unless we know this is the first thing that we need to know before we can start helping that person. When we know a person takes in it, and there are ways of knowing, finding out. For example, I'll give a very simple example. Like if I ask a person, can you tell me your name?
Kelsey?
Okay, I asked her, can you tell me your name? First she nodded, which means yes, I can tell you my name. And then I continued looking at her, and she inferred and she said, Kelsey. Did I ask her, what is your name? No, the question was, can you tell me your name? Okay, so first when she nodded her head, she took it in literally, and later on she went ahead and inferred, I think she wants to know my name, so maybe I should tell her my name. Okay, so one was literal, one was inferential. This tells me that she is more borderline. She's like 50-50. She's 50% literal and 50% inferential. And nothing is, it's all a gray scale. This is a gray scale that we tread on, okay? No one is 100% literal or 100% inferential. Everyone is something along a spectrum. Okay? So if you are 50% literal or 50% inferential, we also call them somnambulists, sleepwalkers. Or highly suggestible, gullible, naive, all of the above. Me included. Okay? So that is how you find out. Okay? So when you know a person is literal, what does this person do? You might have heard of thinkers and feelers, right? So this is what happens, okay? These people, they have a thought. And the thought will trigger a bodily sensation first. First, they have a bodily sensation. And from that, what comes up is an emotion. These people, from the thought, first, they have an emotion. And when there's an emotional overflow, there's a bodily sensation. Like for some people, let's say your dog died. Some people just wear sunglasses and go to work the next day. Okay, my dog died. I'm going to work and I'm going to stay busy with my work. What do you think that person is?
Inferential.
Yes. But a person, the dog died, oh, now I need a therapist, my dog died, and I need to cry, and I need to talk about it to everyone else. I need to go to this death of dogs support group and talk about my pain. That's how they process it, because first they have a bodily sensation, and from that, an emotion is invoked. It's not that, this person does not feel the pain. Everybody feels it, but they process it differently within them. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. So, is there people that are first literal, then they become inferential, or they're first inferential, then they shift to being literal because of some experience they went through?
Absolutely. That is what I was talking about here. We can work with our associations and change it. Okay? And if you want to know how it is formed between the ages of 0 to 8. Okay? The child responds to the world of the primary caregiver. In a traditional world, that would be our mothers. So when a mother says what she means and means what she says, the child turns out literal. But if a mother says something and suddenly she's on the phone and the child right away goes and starts nagging and she says, oh, shush, no, yeah, sure, you can do it, and she goes on, then the child becomes inferential. Because the child says, okay, she means this at this particular time, but when she's busy over there, or her sister is here, or she's on the phone, and then when I ask her, then I can get a yes. So the children learn to hear the unspoken and receive signals, conflicting signals. So it's not right or wrong, but it's just that's how we become, inferential. We do not take the world literally. We are always analyzing and trying to see, okay, she's wearing red, I think she's happy. Oh, she's wearing black, I don't know what's going on today. Because this is a child's world when they're younger than 8. Okay? They watch the primary caregiver and they learn that. Now, between the ages of 8 to 16, what happens is we develop our sexuality, which has got nothing to do with sex, by the way. Okay? It's just the way we behave and project ourselves in the world. At that time, the child growing up, the prepubescent and pubescent, basically an adolescent, a free child, observes the secondary caregiver and says, what is he doing to get her attention? So usually kids turn out like the dads. No matter what, women are turned crazy because they're like, I'm married to this guy and they're all like him. So no matter where, if in that traditional family of mom and dad and kids, okay? So when the father is inferential, the kids all turn out inferential. Dominance, okay? But two inferential people, then one will always dominate the other. One may be 75% and one may be 53%. So the 53 will seem more literal than inferential. Okay? So there is a lot to it. I'm just trying to let you know that these are things that you know. I mean, doesn't your mom yell at you when she gets mad like, you're like your dad?
No.
No, your mom isn't angry. Oh, you're a yogi, so you are like super balanced.
No.
Yeah. So, and sometimes what happens is when we have younger siblings, the younger siblings, sometimes a parent and a child co-parent a younger sibling. So a younger sibling will watch, sometimes the mom has to go to work. Okay, so the mom becomes the secondary caregiver and the older sibling is now the primary caregiver. So the kids may turn, like the first child may be like the father and the second and third may be like the mother. It depends on which role is being played. Okay? So, any other questions on that? Taking information. Okay. So the thought leading to the bodily sensation and thought leading to emotion and overflowing into bodily sensation. Or thought, like the moment a thought is triggered, people, when you hear the saying that they wear their heart on their sleeve, because the moment they hear something, right away they want to say something, because it's like right away they have a bodily sensation. Like usually in relationships, when it is breaking up, the person may say, my heart hurts, and their heart really, physically, there is a pain in their chest. They feel a physical pain because of separation, death, disease, whatever, But those for whom first this is strange, they'll be like, yeah, it hurts for them too, but it's not like that, They might sit and, okay, I'm going to write a book now. Yeah. Because I have this emotional overflow now, So they can.
How does the same-sex children growing up in the same family come out of this? Do they still have the same ratio of logical inferential, even though it's a different setup, at least the child wouldn't know it's a different setup.
So help me understand this question. So there is a mom and there is a dad and there are two children of the same gender.
Mom and dad are both of the same sex.
Okay. Okay. So basically, it's a homosexual relationship,
Right.
and they have adopted children or whatever. Maybe it's their own biological kids too, and so the children.
Do they have the same type of processing as the?
Yeah. Okay. Because one of them will be a primary caregiver, and one of them is a secondary caregiver. So between the age of 8 to 16, these children watch the secondary caregiver. What does the secondary caregiver do to get the attention of the primary caregiver? That is how they learn to behave. So it could be mother and grandmother. It could be mom and grandma. It would still be the same. It could be father and father's brother, or they could be in an intimate relationship. But children, we always have a primary caregiver and a secondary caregiver. So children learn to, observe, like, what do they do to get the attention of and that is how we start behaving. So either physical or emotional. And physicals are comfortable in their body. Emotionals can have a poker face. They master their emotions very well. You can't tell. But physicals are extremely comfortable in their body. They can dress up and go anywhere. But an emotional will always be like very properly dressed, buttoned up. But an physical, like, I'll tell you one good example. Have you ever seen joggers, people who are jogging in the morning? And in the morning, it's cold, at least where we live. Okay, there's fog and mist and everything. And you'll see these people with their, tiny bras and shorts and they are jogging. It's so cold and they're like, oh, they're sweating. Or it was raining and this man will be just wearing his swimming trunks or his jogging trunks and he'll be jogging. That's a physical, very comfortable in their body. And you'll find some joggers in the afternoon. They're sweating and they have a full shirt and a full length pant and they're jogging. And they have the sweat in front and back. They are emotional, not comfortable showing their body. So when you see those woolly pattern, you're physical, you're emotional, yeah. But nothing is black and white. Everything is along a spectrum. When two physicals get together, one is more emotional and one is physical. When two emotionals get together, one is, because again, it depends on how physical you are and how emotional you are. But always the opposites balance each other out. We complement each other. Two physicals together, both of them will be extremely competitive because everybody wants to stand on the stage. Two emotional, but sure, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, you go. No, it's okay, you do it. And then, so that when we complement each other, we bring the harmony and balance, and then we can work together. So
that's where it says opposites attract, right?
yes. So let's get into pain. Pain, in my world, comes in comes in various forms. There is mental, there is emotional, and there is physical. Okay? When we have physical pain, and the source of the physical pain is a physical incident, okay? Let's say I hit my hand over here hard, and it hurts, okay? And then it goes on, depending on how intense the pain was. But if that pain has an emotional component to it, that means it has deeper roots, it will last longer. Okay? And if it has a mental, if it has thoughts attached to it too, it's even deeper. There is shame, there is hurt, there is fear. What is this, emotional or mental? Shame, hurt, and fear.
Emotions.
Yeah, emotional. Worries, anxiety. What are they? They are mental. So they are even deeper. So when a pain comes from that pain does not go away, It's called the shifting pain. First your neck hurts, then your back hurts, then your knee hurts, then your ankle hurts, then something or the other is always hurting. Because our pain becomes pleasurable. Our pain becomes our best friend. We get addicted to our pain. We do not know how to live without the pain. And so that pain does not leave us. And no matter which therapy we go through, whether it's medication or yoga or meditation or whatever, trust me, when someone in an extreme painful situation, which is not tangible, is sitting to meditate, what are they meditating on? Their pain.
Yeah.
And so the root is going deeper and deeper. And that is why we need to work with their situation. Go to the source and find out what is it that is really hurting. What is their story? What is the story that needs to come out? Because from every pain, we can find peace. Because avoidance of pain will not bring us pleasure. But when we work through our pain, we can find our peace. And from that peaceful state, we find our power. That is what happens. Yes.
What meditation can do is create an awareness in you to be able to go yourself deep.
True.
To do that. So
And
it
you have to
does,
do it with a teacher.
Right, it definitely helps.
Oh,
Meditation
absolutely. But you have to do it with a teacher. You have to have a teacher guiding you and helping. Like today's Guru Purnima. What does it mean? You have a teacher whose only job is to ensure that you live a pain-free life. That's what they sign up for. So they help you. You have a point of contact. You have a go-to person that you go to who helps you through that. Because we can always sit and talk, about all our stuff, but then everybody's talking about the same stuff. How do you rise above that? A teacher who knows what is going on. Like we were talking about equanimity. We were talking about all those points on her slide, So a teacher who has the knowledge and the experience can really hold our hands and take us through that. So when you sit to meditate, like when we were doing the Surya Namaskar, you just do the Surya Namaskar or you do it with the mantra, okay? That mantra alters our state into a place where the vibration is at a higher frequency. So yes, initially you might say, I don't know, but if you have faith, you have trust, you have the belief, basically you know, like, and trust, okay? It's called KLT, okay? You know, like, and trust. And this person, you know that this person is not going to disappoint you, is going to ensure that you stay in that pain-free state, okay? So you can go on with whatever it is in your life that you need. Then yes, But if we have a YouTube video going on and you're sitting to meditate, I don't know, I have never meditated, but people say, "Oh, I listen to this YouTube thing and it feels so good." And I'm like, I don't know that. So, if I do have a teacher and I know it works for me, and like, I go for my group meditations because it feels nice to be with others, because the dynamic is different when I meditate just by myself or I meditate in a group. And there are people who are constantly coming, they're like, "Oh, this is so nice," but they don't come back.
Yeah.
Everybody loves what you do, but they don't come back because that's all they needed for them.
Yeah.
So you have to help that person heal by working through whatever it is. Like I said initially, it's not what was told or what happened, it's how the child perceived. So later on, when something else comes up in their life, that gets triggered. These associations get triggered. And the pain is like re-invoked. So what do we do? How does hypnosis help for meditation? There are various, for pain, not meditation. Hypnosis doesn't help in meditation. That was a wrong statement. Sorry. But there are two inductions that I really like very much, which are very effective. One is a glove imagery, okay, where, and the other one is a pain dial. And when we talk about a glove imagery, what is it? I will just explain it to you. In your mind, you see a bucket with ice, okay, and you just put your hand in that. Raise your hand, put it in it, and just keep moving the ice. And your hand actually becomes numb, cold. And then you take that ice to wherever it's hurting, whether it's your back, it's your knee, it's your feet, it's your head, whatever it is, and you can actually transfer the cold, the numbness. Because when we have a physical pain somewhere, what happens is blood rushes over there to heal. So you can take it all away from there, and that numbness will relax that place. So you can, I know the room is already cold, but you can rub your hand and warm it up a little bit and just play with it, Do it till your hand feels warm, okay? And then in your mind, and all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. No one else can hypnotize you. These are suggestions you give to yourself, okay? And then slowly put your hand up and imagine your hand inside a bucket of ice cold water. And just keep moving your hand in that. And slowly, slowly, with each breath, you will notice, you will realize that your hand is getting wet. And you don't do it fast, you do it very slowly. Move it, and you will notice that your hand is getting cold. Very slowly, with each breath you're taking, relaxing, put both your feet down, uncross your legs so you can really get into that state. Uncross your feet, and slowly you will feel the coldness at the tip of your fingers, and feel that cold feeling move up from the tip of your fingers down to your hand, and feel your hand getting colder and colder. And if there is any pain in your body anywhere, take it over there when you feel your hand is cold enough, and just rest it over there. And feel the cold flow from your hand to that part of your body. Just rest it over there and continue breathing gently, slowly relaxing, and crossing your feet so you can really have full advantage of this hypnoidal state. And just breathe in and breathe out, and feel the cold flow to that part of your body, relaxing it, soothing it completely. And notice how your pain reduces, shrinks in size, in intensity, and you can feel the coldness flow from that part and spread around that part of the body where you have the pain. And you will notice that you are more relaxed, you're more comfortable in that part of your body. Stay with it for a minute, and when you're ready, just return into your conscious state. And open your eyes slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, and alert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, and alert. How do you feel?
I felt the cold transfer into my adductor muscles,
Mm-hmm.
and then my adductor muscles just simply just loosened up a bit.
Mm-hmm. How about you? Did you feel?
The neck felt good.
And this is a simple suggestion you can give yourself just in your mind, just see it. But this is like a band-aid. This is like in the moment. It's hurting, okay, I'll do this. And it works. And people have told me in the past, oh, I have to listen to your CD every time it hurts. I'm like, yeah, we have to work through the situation, the emotion we have not healed. What brought about that pain. Now, if it was a physical thing, then the pain is gone, it doesn't come back. But if it is an emotion attached with that, if there's a hurt, there's a shame, whatever it is, there's guilt, there's fear, whatever, anxiety, then we have to work with that mental aspect and emotional aspect. There's another induction where we can use the pain dial in your mind. You can see, you can calibrate it, like from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. Let's say 5. 5 means it's so intense, like I'm going to faint and I'm going to die. I would rather die than go through my pain. Okay? And 1 is like, I'm happy. There's no pain. I'm pain-free. Okay? When you are in that state, so give it a number. Okay? Maybe it's 1.5, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 3, whatever it is. Give it a number. Okay? And in your mind, just close your eyes and see it on a dial, see it on the lever, and slowly move it. Okay, slowly reduce it. And you will notice that your pain is reducing. Find another part. Let's do a dial of 1 to 10, not even 1 to. Find a part of your body where it's hurting. Okay, and give it a number. Give it a number. Any number. Okay, between 1 to 10. Don't give it 10. If it is 10, don't try that part yet. If it is 9 or anything less, it could be a 4, it could be a 3, it could be a 7, it could be a 6. Give it a number in your mind. And close your eyes slowly and see this dial in front of you, which is calibrated. And look at the number that you have calibrated it with. That is the intensity of your pain. Now, in your mind, I want you to see yourself reaching out your hand and increasing the pain by 0.5, and feel the pain in your body intensify because you have increased the painometer calibration. Like maybe it was a 7, it's now a 7.5. Feel the pain intensifying slightly. Okay? And take a breath and release it and see it hold over there. Now in your mind, bring it back to the original number. Maybe it was a 7.5, you bring it back to 7. And reduce it to 6. Slowly take another deep breath. Let it go. Bring it down to 6. And then reduce it to 5. And reduce it to 4. And reduce it to 3. And bring it down to a 2. And take a breath. And let it stay at 2. And when you're comfortable in that state of 2, slowly open your eyes and breathe. And you may ask, why 2? Why not 0? Because I want you to be alive. Because when it is 2, you won't even feel that part of your body. When it is 0, you won't even feel that part of your body. You better feel every part of your body. You want to feel your body. Because if it comes down to 1, and this is something, even the doctor will testify, is, there are people who said, oh, their foot was burning, there was a fire, but they couldn't feel it because they have diabetes or neuropathy or too many terminologies that I have no clue about, but I have heard, and the first time when I heard, I was like, and this is when I did not know about hypnosis, and I'm like, how does it happen? And they say they do not feel the extremities of their body, and so they are feeling good because they're sitting by the fire, and they went off to sleep, and suddenly their whole body is burning until the burn reached a part of their body where they can feel it, and that's when they have burned a lot already. It's true, yeah, because they have no sensation in their extremities. They have had diabetes for a long time. This is a real story I'm telling you. And this lady's foot was burning. She had no clue her foot is burning. So we need to have pain. Pain is healthy. So that slight pain that we feel, it is a good thing. You know you're alive, because without pain, you don't even know you are in your body. So you want to always bring it down to 2 and keep it over there. Because the pain also motivates us to do something.
Yeah.
Pain is not bad, Only when it becomes unmanageable, we can't handle, and it cripples us. That is when, it's like, oh, I need to do something about it. That's why we all go through the state of homeostasis. I'm comfortable with my pain, But when the pain becomes so bad that you don't want to live anymore, that is when, you want to do something about it. So these are just 2 very simple inductions that I, shared with you, but you can use them for yourself. Don't try to do this for anyone else unless you don't try to hypnotize your father or your cat. But do it for yourself, and if you want, you can learn it and then use it for whoever. But all I'm sharing is for you to understand for yourself what you can do for yourself, before you get into helping others, Like, we know that, oh, I'm hurting, I can go and take this medication. But can I take it without going to a doctor? No, because the doctor will be like, okay, you're hurting, sure, I'll give you the medication, but let me really check and see what's wrong with you before I give you the medication. So we need to go to a doctor. So it's the same thing. So any questions on this? Okay. Okay. So I'll just share my slideshow before. This is my personal opinion about pain. Find the joy within, and the pain will vanish. So we have to find what makes us happy. And that is why. And it should not be a drug or alcohol. It should be a friend to have a conversation with. Maybe a walk in the rain. Maybe it doesn't rain here. Maybe some yoga stretches. We don't, even if you don't have an hour, but we can still do one Surya Namaskar. Maybe we don't know all the Om Reem, Om Ram, we don't know all that, but we can just say Om Suryaya Namaha and do our one Surya Namaskar, and take the breath in every, so it takes like 3 minutes when we breathe in every posture, asana, and that's good, right?
Yes.
So when we find that joy, because then the body is like a baby, it's here to keep us happy. So we can use that. So just like when you turn on the light, darkness disappears. But what happens when you turn off the light? The darkness comes from the corners, rushes into the center of the room. We have to remember that too. So I took you through this. Pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Okay? Like we were talking about Kathy becoming Catherine. It's the same thing, How do we morph into the butterfly and become this infinite being? It's when we break from the shell of our pain. So what is death to one is life to another. The caterpillar has to die for the butterfly to be born. So when there is pain, let's not focus on numbing that pain, but talking to it, sitting with it, having a conversation and understanding from it, and seeking help and finding it so we can be this infinite being. Criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. When someone tells us something that we do not like to hear, it causes us mental pain. And what do? I don't want to see that person ever again. But it takes a lot for a person to really tell us the truth. In fact, that person is our teacher. And when we when you see someone sitting by themselves, usually an emotional will be sitting by himself because he's sorting out his own pain. The physical will say, come on, let's go out, let's do something, And no, that person really needs their space. So that time, sure, let that person know, okay, I'm here, come to me whenever you want to talk. But give them their space. So for some, it might be loneliness, but for some, it's the solitude where they find their strength, to sit in their silence. I like this one. It is easier to find men who will volunteer to die than to find those who are willing to endure pain with patience. Today we were at the Holocaust Museum, and one of the things I heard was, when they were exterminating the Jews, they would make them stand with no clothes on in the rain and such, and we said, oh, you have to stand over here, okay, and we are going to process all your information. And the people would be standing for 2 or 3 days in rain or snow or whatever, naked, and standing in that line, they would be like they were in so much pain that they just dropped dead by themselves, standing in the line, because the pain was so extreme that they that the spirit just left the body. So, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I can't do it. The body just crumbled and fell. We all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment. So it's up to us. Shall we have the discipline to do our yoga every day, or shall we be like, oh, tomorrow? Yeah, it's the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. It's very easy to go for the cheesecake, and then later we'll on the discipline. No, I'm fine, thank you. And if you must have some, don't offend your host. Take just one bite. One bite is good enough. They are happy. Your mouth is happy. You had the discipline to take that much and do it guilt-free. You don't want the emotional root. Just do it for the physical pleasure. There's nothing wrong with that. What else do I have? Pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. And when we quit, what happens? Pain wins and we lose. Like when we sit to meditate, what do we say? Like in the Zen, they talk about the thoughts being clouds in the sky. The sky does not get attached to the thoughts, to the clouds. The clouds keep floating, and the clouds are happy to float around. I'm happy, and the sky is also looking beautiful, dramatic because of the changing shapes of the clouds. So our thoughts are just like that. When they come to us, just allow it to come and drop it and let it go. But when we start clinging to a thought, what happens? Now we are running with the thought. Now the thought is dragging us wherever it goes. So one of the things I tell people, because I'm not a meditation teacher and I would never take that responsibility. So I tell people is when you sit to meditate, this is what you can do, In your mind, see yourself standing in a street corner. Okay? This is one parallel. And you see cars go by. Maybe you're waiting for a friend. You're waiting. In our days, we used to wait in the street corner for our friend to come. You see the cars go by, and then you see, oh, there's a Toyota, and there's a Honda, and there's a Ferrari. Oh my God, I want that Ferrari. And when you see that Ferrari and you think you want that Ferrari, are you going to jump up with the Ferrari and go flippity flop with the Ferrari?
No.
You're like, oh, that's a Ferrari. So it's like that. So when our thoughts come in, we're like, oh, that's my thought. Oh, that's another thought. Oh, that's another thought. And you say, oh, this is a great thought. Let me just cling to it. Now your thought owns you. Okay? So the same thing with pain, you know. You need pain. Use it to feel your body, you know, to go through your body. Don't let pain take over. So, and this is the back cover of my book that is coming up really soon. I'm done writing it. I'm editing this book. So that has a lot in it.
So you're editing on your own?
Yeah. Who edited Tagore's books? Who edited Shakespeare? They did it themselves, you know. If I give someone else to edit the book, it'll become their book, in my opinion. I'm like, no, I have to clean up my own stuff.
So are you self-publishing too?
Well, I'm sending it out to publishers, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to publish it. So if it gets picked up, fine. If it doesn't get, I'm still going to publish it. And this is my other book that's coming out really soon, in this next week. It's done, okay? And so this book is giving. I had written it a long time ago, and Margie is helping me. She's helping me translate every book into Spanish, so we will have like English and Spanish versions of both of them. But this one, it's like a 100-page book. It's not 120. Sorry.
How about the other one? How will you do this?
I'm not going to make it longer than 200. Things were spilling over, so here's the other book that's coming out. I took the spillover from that book and put it into this, so I have this book also designed and everything is ready. 2 chapters are fully written out. So this
So,
is
that's the back and that's the front?
even here. This is the front and this book. Right now, I'm just keeping it in ebook format, so I don't have a back cover for this. I don't need a back cover because it's an ebook. But
So are you designing your own house?
Yep. Yeah. These are pictures. Yes. These are all. This is Ventura. This is how it looks. This is our 101 freeway. This picture was taken on the 17th of December, 2013. See, our 101 looks so nice.
Oh, this one on freeway?
This is 101 coming from Santa Barbara. This is Camarillo. This was the sun was breaking through. This is Camarillo. And if you see this condensate trail, I didn't even realize it yesterday when we were taking the picture. So I'm like, oh, this is the one that's going to be. And I like how the sun is reflecting over here.
How about the other one? With that?
This picture I took, this is Carpinteria,
Where is that?
Santa Barbara.
Oh, this pictures.
This is in Santa Barbara. Yes. So, yeah, this is, I love landing in, there is a frog jumping over here.
Oh, cute.
And I love this guy over here. This reminded me of the song my daughter, once she came home, like she was 3 and a half. Oh, Susanna, won't you come to me? I'm coming home from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Do you know that song?
I know that song.
Yeah. So that reminded me, so I told my daughter, yeah, let's leave this one over here. So this is a garden over there. And we took the picture. So yeah. So that's all I have. And you will all get this book. Initially, I'm going to give it for free. This book will be free for some time before it becomes 99 cents and before it becomes $2.99. Yeah.
How about the other two books?
The
Those
other
are hardbound or paper?
they will be hardbound, paperback, and ebook, Kindle format. This is the Kindle format. And this photograph was taken. This is our pier, and this is the Crown Town Plaza Hotel, and right beyond this is Santa Barbara. This was 25th sunset, 25th December sunset. And this one we took this time summer. I think it was the third week of June. So, and everything came to me in a dream. This is what I need to use, this is what I need to use, this is what I need to use. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.